Hello authors, I'm Joanne Morrell, children's and young adult fiction writer and author of short non-fiction for authors. Thanks for joining me for the Hybrid Author podcast, sharing interviews from industry professionals to help you forge a career as a hybrid author, both independently and traditionally publishing your books. You can get the show notes for each episode and sign up for your free author pass over at the Hybrid Author website to discover your writing process, get tips on how to publish productively, and get comfortable promoting your books at www.hybridauthor.com.au. Let's crack on with the episode. Hello authors, I hope you're all keeping well in whatever part of the world you reside and listen to the podcast in. Today's interview is with publishing powerhouse Karen McDermott on all things publishing. Karen is the founder of 4 independent presses and an award-winning entrepreneur and TEDx speaker. So she's going to be sharing with us her secrets to success in the publishing industry, her advice to authors who want to be their own publisher, tips for authors running their own business, as well as how she does it all. She's a mother of 6, a writer, a publisher of all these presses, as well as all the other many things that she does. So she shares those tips with us soon. So in my author adventure this past fortnight, it has been quite a relaxed one. If you listened to the last podcast episode, you'll be aware I was away with my family in our caravan for the Easter holidays, and I even recorded some of the podcast in the caravan toilet, which was actually a great little sound booth. The breakaway was amazing. We spent a week in Busselton, which is the southwest of Western Australia, and we were at Mandalay, which is like a resort-style sort of caravan and chalet place. It's just fantastic for kids. The staff were wonderful. It was nice, clean, safe environment. The facilities were fantastic. It was pretty much parked the caravan up. Kids ran off to the jumping pillow and playground. There's a big green oval space, and the adults just sort of were able to relax and read and eat and drink and be merry. And they've got 3 pools there and a big rainbow slide, so it's nice just to relax while the kids had fun as well. And then we went off to Bridgetown for 4 nights, which was a bit more of kind of a different style caravanning trip from what I call resort caravanning. This was more nature caravanning. There was like gravel ground, and we were beside a river. There was loads of midges and bugs, and the kids were a bit spoiled. They were sort of like, well, where's the pool? Where's the coffee van? And but we got into it, and it was a lot of walking, and we did a bit of canoeing, which was an adventure, and again, lots of eating and drinking and all the rest. So we've had a lovely time away. It was very inspiring and relaxing, and it was just great. But we got back on Monday. I got into my part-time scriptwriting job, and now that that's finished up for the week, I have got back into my own book business. So I submitted my picture book to Larrikin Publishing House. If you listen to past episodes, I think I mentioned Larrikin is a publisher over East, and they tell picture book stories with like humorous, edgy style. So I had a good idea, a good story that I put in for that. So fingers crossed. I think that's open till the end of May or June or something. And that's for Squibby members only, that opportunity. So check it out if you are a Squibby member. There's still time. I am also back in touch with my business consultant, Kate. We're in the middle of rescheduling that missed meeting. That threw me off track. And back to formatting the non-fiction books. You're probably sick of me talking about this. I'm sick of it dragging on, but it just doesn't seem to be we'll get there. I'll get there. We'll all celebrate when I get there, I'm sure. I've also started thinking about what I want to write next. What direction should I go in? What I really want to do is continue on with the children's fiction. I'm enjoying that, having fun. I've got a couple of projects that, they're pretty much at the end. They need to be tweaked. That would probably be the best way to start. It's just, been worked on them for a long time, and I just want to run off with all the new shiny ideas that keep appearing. I also am very aware that I told my editor that she could probably expect another non-fiction book in June, Performance for Authors, which is not going to be a public speaking book, but more about how authors can go about storytelling when they present, how they can give more of a performance for their work rather than just stand up and kind of present it. So if you love the podcast or any of the episodes have helped you further your author career, you can now pay it forward by buying me a coffee over at www.buymeacoffee.com/thehybridauthor. So yeah, that's enough from me. Let's crack on with the episode. Karen Mc Dermott is the founder of Serenity Press, MMH Press, KMD Books, and the Everything Publishing Academy. She is an award-winning entrepreneur, multi-genre author of over 40 books, mentor, Forbes writer, TEDx speaker, and a proud mum of 6. She's also an advanced law of attraction practitioner who teaches people how to attract anything they want into their lives and writes about her success principles as KP Weaver. Her annual retreats are sought-after events with featured famous guests and often hosted in an Irish castle. Her motto is, "Where there is a will, there's always a way." Her quote is, "When time and circumstance align, magic happens." Karen is passionate about sharing her extensive knowledge and vibrant energy with others. She has a no-excuse policy. If she can do it, anyone can. Karen is the current 2020 WA Oz Mumpreneur of the Year award winner, 2020 Women Will Change the World winner, 2021 Think Network International Women of Empowerment Award winner. She has been an annual speaker and award judge for this network since, because she believes in the power of mums in business. Karen is on a mission to share the power of story with the world. And we're so glad we get to be a part of that mission today, Karen. Welcome to the Hybrid Author Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Joanne. It's lovely to be here. And hello, everyone.
Hey, you're welcome. So how is it, wow, that you came to build this empire and join the exciting world of publishing and writing?
I went on a journey. I had a call in 2010 to write my first novel, which was The Visitor. I did it during NaNoWriMo. I had never written a novel or even considered writing a novel before. I had studied a bit of writing, but at school I didn't enjoy English or anything like that. But I had an epiphany. And when you get a call to a mission, you can't ignore it. So I had an epiphany around, I had had a double miscarriage a few years previous. And I was like, I never understood, why me? Why did this happen to me? And then I had an epiphany whilst watching The View one day. And I was a mum. I just had my 4th child at the time. Daytime TV was not on in our house ever. It was always, ABC Kids or something like that. So that for this to be on was meant to be. And Whoopi Goldberg turned around to these guests that had come. The woman was still very distraught, you could say, and they had endured a miscarriage on, it was live because it was a reality TV show. The Whoopi Goldberg turned her back to the camera and she said to them, "I am going to tell you something that I tell all of my friends when this happens. This was a visitor that came to guide you back onto the right track. And if you listen, your gift will come." That was it's like somebody put a lightning bolt through me. I'm really and truly, it was like, wow. So I was writing blogs at a time for a Perth-based, this is before Facebook took off, called Building Beautiful Bonds, and I was writing like spiritual writings in there just because I was on an awakening kind of journey, and that wasn't enough. The message was bigger. So 2 days before NaNoWriMo started, I signed up, knew the book was going to be called The Visitor, and just started writing. And I wrote 1,667 words a day, 30 days.
Wow.
Because 50,000 words blew my mind. That was too much for me to fathom, but I could do 1,667 words a day. So that book ended up getting published. It was a catalyst into publishing because I had a negative self-publishing experience. But at the beginning of the book, and little did I know it would become the essence of my journey, was from every negative situation is the potential for a positive outcome. So I changed my mindset around, and I had started studying the law of attraction as well at the time. I changed my whole mindset around the negative experience and thought of it as a positive training, and I've done a bit of research into the publishing company in the US that I used, and I discovered that their print and distribution channel had just opened up an office in Melbourne. So I applied to become a publisher because I was well into my second novel by then. That was 2012, and I applied to become a publisher, and I made a sacred promise that if I was accepted, I would help stories get told. So I've been on that journey ever since.
Wow, that's incredible. Are you able to share a little bit about the negative publishing experience, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm an open book. Joanne,
Yeah.
ask me anything. It was just because I was so new to authorship. I'd never written a book before. It was very much a passion project. It was a story. It wasn't a literary novel and none of my writing is literary, but it is powerful and important writing because when someone connects with that story, it ignites something, shifts something, heals something within them. So it seemed it was just all about money and the editing as well. Whenever I signed up, I didn't understand the editing process. We had a young family of 4 kids at the time. It was just a lot of unforeseen. Whereas I believe that everything should be transparent. There should be someone that goes in a call and says, this is what happens. This is what you can expect. Because knowledge is key. And then you're able to make decisions whether that's for you or not. And you go on the journey, but I didn't feel that anybody joined me on the journey. It was like I was walking in the dark the whole
Right.
time. And then I had this book at the end that was like a pouring of my heart to help other women who endured such things, and it just didn't feel worth it. We had an empty bank account
Yeah.
and we were building a life in Australia, and it was just one of those things. And don't get me wrong, I know that investing in yourself as an author is, and people pay me to publish their books all of the time, but I really endeavor to join everyone on the journey, walk with them through the
Yeah.
challenges so that they feel supported and understand. It's just so important because publishing is actually a self-development journey. And if you're just left to walk around in the dark, you're going to
Yeah.
be lost. There's somebody walks alongside you, you can not only, reach your highest potential, you're open to bigger things happening, and you can align with your intentions and really make what it is that you want to happen in your authorship happen, because books are important, stories are important. I always say stories make the world go round, because you're sharing a story with somebody else. That's like being it's like sharing the love, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
Irish, that's what we do. We come to the rescue with a cup of tea and a
Yeah.
story to help someone when they're going through
Yeah.
something, or to empower them or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well said. But it sounds like from that experience, like you said,
Yeah,
you turned it on its head, lessons learned, and now you're on the right path. So that's incredible.
I could have wallowed in that for the rest of my
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
but I chose to. But I was like, yeah, no, I don't like hanging out in this. And then studying the law of attraction, I was like, yeah, this is going to bring nothing good my way. So I'm going to look at it in a different light. And life is a lot about perspective, and especially our authorship journey is a lot about perspective. There's lots of things that can be brick walls on your authorship journey, but if you choose to focus your energy on the positives and the things that move you forward, and just deal with it, because when you're going through a challenge on any journey, whether it's personal, professional, and definitely your author journey, a challenge is an opportunity to stop, pause, learn something new, and grow through it. Because again, authorship is a growth. You're growing through the whole process.
Yeah, I haven't actually ever heard anyone put it that way, but it's very much my own experience as well. So no, that's
See,
great to hear that said aloud. So fantastic. So Serenity Press and MMH Press and KMD Books, as well as your author entrepreneur business, your publishing one,
yeah.
they're all quite different. So you're able to tell us how you've branched out into, almost 4 different directions. Did they come
Absolutely.
sort of different parts of the journey? And
Absolutely. They're all my babies. So I don't have 6
so
kids, I
effectively,
have
if you've got
10.
10 children.
and 40 book babies too.
Yeah, I know. My goodness me.
But the thing is that I set out actually as Inner Light Publishing many moons ago, and it was very spiritual based and whatever, and we were offering services. We actually partnered with iKoala, so it was part. I was just kind of starting, but I had a passion to help people. So then we morphed into Serenity Press, which initially was a hybrid model, because you got to pay the bills. And initially I done most of the stuff apart from the editing. Editors are like these amazing humans in life,
Yeah.
make words shine. I love them. Yeah, I learned InDesign, learned everything that I needed to learn to publish books at the beginning. So I just was very open to the journey. I, set an intention more than a goal, because there's a difference in intentions and goals. Intentions can go anywhere. Goals are where you set a goal and you know the steps that you need to take, and so you focus on the steps. I focused on the journey and where it can go. So anything was going to happen, and anything did happen. So Serenity Press quickly grew. We went into romance initially and all of this, and then we fell into explore. We had transitioned into a traditional publisher. And so we were in children's books and romance. That's when Kate Forsyth came on board, and we adore Kate Forsyth. She's beautiful,
She's
amazing.
great, yeah.
And we started growing up this beautiful library, and I'm really excited having a festival to celebrate our new website, which has a fairy tale world and a children's book world. And it's just absolutely it's like this coming together of everything. And because we have some amazing children's book authors in there as well. And we have the Duchess of York as well. So she's having her own division called DSP.
Yep.
Duchess Serenity Press. We have a 22 book day with her. So that's, there's a lot of things happening in there as well. So yes, Serenity Press is it's my success story, I suppose. Like there's been days where editors have had to wait for their invoices to be paid because we were trying to get the cash flow in to make it happen. But it's always been forward moving, and I've invested a lot in it to get it to where it is. But I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. And it's like my $1 million press. And that's the intention I set, was for it to be a $1 million press. So I went on the journey to make that happen. Now, I don't publish my own books through Serenity Press. I publish them through MMH Press, because MMH Press is where we do the philosophical, metaphysical, but also poetry. Poetry has really shone in there, especially through the pandemic. We would host poetry nights once a month. So we're trying to break through in that market because we've got such cool poetry collections, amazing, and poets on board. And then also fiction and novels. So those are the three things that we do under MMH Press, which starts for Making Magic Happen Press. And it is based on a very interesting model. I brought in author shareholders, they're called, and each one of them was very much bringing a strength into the press, and they invested in themselves initially for us to get the press off the ground, and then they publish with my team, just a cost price. And but the big thing is that we're building a press that we've made links into a distributor into the US. So we're growing together as authors, and we just keep writing our books. And then when the big discovery comes for one of us, we all benefit. So we have this hub of 7 shareholders, and then we bring in a few select authors, but primarily it's the author shareholders who drive that ship. And then just before the pandemic, I did discover KMD Book probably a year before that, but it really took off to 2020, 2021. And it's for my business owners, because I'm very active in the entrepreneurial business community, especially in Australia, but also worldwide. And a lot of people come to me wanting me to be their publisher, because I've built a brand just by showing up on Facebook and, and being just by being me, really. So I'm so blessed to represent so many amazing authors through there. Some amazing books, that would not come to be if I hadn't have joined them on the journey. So KMD Books has really took off, and there's 2 things that are innovative in there. One is our anthologies, and we do anthologies differently, and they're really very successful. And then we also have started guiding publishers. We bring in divisions. So we've got Women Changing the World Press, we've got Mass Media Press, all coming in as subsidiaries of KMD Books. So KMD Books is the mother, and I guide these presses to be. So these are business leaders who have audiences who want to publish books. So they publish them through them, and then we guide them through. So they pay an initial fee to come and get trained, and it's a 6-month program. So it just works. So we go with it.
Yeah.
And it's helping stories get told, Joanne. That's my calling, to have stories get told.
Yeah, and all stories. It sounds like that's incredible,
stories.
Honestly. So what does publishing look like in 2022 across all these platforms? I can imagine you'll have to be extremely organized to be on top of them all. Is it like you sit down at the end of the year or the start of the year, you've got a publishing plan for the whole year? How do you roll with that?
I am so much the most unorganized person in the world.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
That gives me hope.
I'm very much intuitive based, and I navigate my energies and I prioritize it accordingly. I've always been that, and I'll never not be that. Yes, I have an amazing team who do the production schedule, so we stay on track with all of that kind of stuff. And this year, our goal is to sell 1 million books. So we're not taking in so many authors. We have such an amazing library already. It's time to get these books out into the world. So we secured a distribution agreement into the US with partnering with Sound Wisdom last year. We signed that on the 1st of September. So that should kick in this year, and that'll really help. And I'm over at the castle in June, and
Wow.
yeah. And so the plan is, because I'm there for longer than the 5 days for the retreat. I'm there for 5 weeks. So I've got some meetings planned to build out our distribution in the UK, although we've got good distribution. And we also distribute into the Australian market through Paribo distribution, and they are amazing. I've worked with a few different distributors in, when you're growing, you test the waters, but Paribo, or Paribo, as some people would call it, they are amazing. I love them. They're really the best fit for us.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I've heard of them before, but I don't know much about them. But yeah, are they Australian?
Sydney.
They're Australian based? Are they over east?
We're in Sydney. They're quite close to Booktopia. Yeah, so they have a good relationship with Booktopia. And I just really love, they were on my bucket list and really got them. So yeah, they're really, really good. Amazing.
That is fantastic. Yeah. Wow. So, the publishing industry to me is just massive. It really is. And I mean, what would you credit, or what do you believe are the secrets to success in the publishing industry?
Absolutely. Collaboration over competition. I do not believe in competition at all. And people will say, well, there's a book like this that somebody has written, and said, no, but you are the only one who can write your book.
That's right.
You are the only one who can do that. And so go and collaborate with those people who have written books that are similar to yours. Show up in events with them, do events together with them, get in their audience and let them into yours. It's the same with publishers. I train publishers. People say to me, because even in my publishing academy, I share all of my secrets in there. It's like this hub where people come, and there's been like 8 publishing houses just popped up out of there, all people writing, and some of my authors have written for these publishing presses. It's just like this big family. And people say, are you not training your competition? I said, there's no such thing as competition. Once we are helping stories get told, we're supposed to learn things. Like I'm very innovative in how I do things, and I love to test boundaries and stuff. So I don't mind being that fearless crusader that goes out there, test something, and if it works, tell everyone about it. Be that, and tell them if it doesn't work too. But but the biggest thing that I do, Joanne, is to prioritize joy. And I think that's why I'm a different type of publisher. I was an author first, so I know what the author journey is like, and I respect it, and I understand what authors go through. Like, I've had authors where it comes to the last minute, they're about to publish the books, they're going, no, I can't do it. And like, get out of your own way. This is not about you anymore. You've showed up, you've told your story. You need to get out of the way of this story getting out into the world and reaching the people it needs to. And they're like, I've never seen Karen get. You've done all the work. You're not gonna, not jump the last hurdle.
The Irish wrath comes out.
Yeah, it's like, I can do that when I need to be. But the publishing industry has changed so much since I jumped in. The ideal and everybody's dream of signing with the big 5 and all of that. But the reality is, like, even the big authors, have hybrid publish as well, because why not? You've built up a readership and an audience, so why not capitalize on that as well? So it just makes sense to me. And that was very much, I would say, 7 years ago. I was like, if I was an author who had a big audience, I wouldn't be bringing my books to the big publishers, because I would want to capitalize and serve that audience directly, and can do that. It's no big secret publishing now. You just need to either hire someone like me to walk alongside you and help you to capitalize on that, or learn it yourself. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I love how you talk about guiding authors. And I independently published a children's book in my first year of uni. I was so impatient, so busy to get it out there. And then as soon as I did, I could not go about sort of putting it out there, because I had such bad self-doubt. I never had it professionally edited. That sort of hung over me. And, people were excited. They were like, oh, you've written a book. That's really cool. And I'm like, oh, it's crap. Don't buy it. Like, that's exactly what I would say. Cause I was, and I think there's things when you haven't done this before that arise that you don't foresee, because you've never been in this situation. And it's so the fact that, yes, you've been there, and you're there to guide the authors through these arising things is just fantastic. So well, yeah, how do you have some tips for authors who want to be their own publisher? Obviously come and seek your advice at the Everything Publishing Academy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll join you on the journey. It's cost efficient. Doesn't cost you the world to go in there, but I can guarantee that you'll get tenfold the value. I've learned everything myself, what I know, and so if you're open to learning and have the capacity to learn things, don't think of the big picture. Just learn what you need to for the next step to move forward. But yes, always have the end goal in mind, and I always say that we get the answers inside, so lean inside for the answers and outside for the support to make them happen. So if it's not in your genius zone, it's going to detract from you. So, lean outside. You can build up your own little team around you that doesn't cost the earth, but that is really effective. Just like you said, whenever it comes to, like, even for me, I really am not a big lover of promoting myself, but for other authors, I'll scream them from the rooftops.
Yeah.
So I need help with that. You know what I mean? So, but I'm good at positioning myself in front of people, and my story is fascinating and intriguing enough that it gets interest. So I just play to the strengths and then hire the weaknesses.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
And if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. That's one of my big ones.
That's great. So as authors, we obviously need to learn our writing craft, and if we're seeking to be in the publishing industry, I think gain some momentum and some knowledge of that. And also it's about, if you obviously are independently publishing, well, and also I think traditionally publishing, it's still, that's the business you're in. So you need to have a bit of a business head. What would you say was the best business advice you've received so far? And do you have tips for authors running their own business?
Well, authorship is 100% a business, no matter whether you're published through a big publisher or doing it yourself or just starting out. It's still a business. You need to have that kind of be open to the learning of business. I'm the first business owner in my family. I wasn't trained as a business owner. We've always worked for other people, sort of thing, in our family. But I think I was driven so much with the passion. Let that be your driving force, because you're going to have ups and down days. But if you are, driven by a mission or a passion, you'll be able to lean into that whenever you need, to remember the pause. One of the best business advice things that I've ever tell people is to understand that we're making goals and intentions happen. It's all a cycle. And so to allow the cycle to happen, but when the cycle finishes, when you've got what you've set out to get, don't forget the power in the pause. Don't just go on to the next cycle straight away. Stop for a moment, smell the roses, really just allow the clarity to come through of what the next step is for you. Because you also have to declutter that does not serve you moving forward as well. Otherwise, you're going to feel very heavy on your journey. And to be an efficient business owner that grows very fast, you need to declutter as you go, and it not only serves you, that it serves other people. And you can say no with love and pass things on with love, and just remember there's always someone coming behind you that will be of value to. So let it go. Whether if you're doing a volunteer role somewhere and it no longer serves you, but it did, just let it go. Let somebody else pick up on it. Do it with love, and gratitude is always that big thing, especially for the journey. And the power of the pause is one. I was a very impatient person. I wanted everything now, but I've learned that, and it's one of my mottos in life, that when time and circumstance are aligned, that's when the magic happens. So it can happen now, and it can be done now, tick box, but there's nothing like when it happens at the right time. And you are the only person who knows that. So yeah, amazing.
Oh, I love that. And I'm the same. Yeah, very impatient. I have to laugh. It's funny, you've ended up in a business where it's sort of patience is almost the key, I think,
But there's never, every day is different, Joanne. That's the thing. So it keeps you interested and intrigued the whole journey. So yeah.
That's it. Well, you're a mum and a business mogul, and I'll use that word because I definitely, I'd use that to describe you for sure. Oh goodness, how do you manage your time between being a wife, a mother, business mogul? How have you come to prioritize, I suppose?
Sometimes I don't manage it very well, but I don't beat myself up about it. I'm very good at prioritizing what needs to be addressed. And if I am putting a lot of energy into a project or into something, and my family, because I'm very much a present mom. You know, if my kids are sick, they'll hang out with me. School holidays, I hang out with them, go into a different mindset, recharge, all of that. If I am, you know, so I work around, so I'm very values aligned. So I know what my values are, and so my everything's aligned through that. So I never feel like I'm compromising myself. I do everything with the right intention. I always do my best to, but I always overachieve for people. So, and I'm really upfront and honest.
Mhm.
And so I think that when you just prioritize things as they need to be in any given day or any given week or month, whatever it is. And because I'm a very intuitive person, as I said, I'm not the best organized person. So when something calls, I'll give it my energy in that moment. It just flows. So I allow that to happen instead of being resistant to it. I don't question it. I just allow it to be, because I have faith in knowing that the results come. So
Yeah.
that's what I need to be putting my energy into. So I think because, and I write about this because people say, how the hell do you do it? And
Yeah.
I've been called into business arenas to talk about the power of knowing. So I'm very connected with my ability to know what I need to put my energies into. And I don't think, oh my God, I've got a to-do list with like 500 things on it. I think about the thing that I'm focusing my energy on at any one time. That's, I think, is one of my superpowers. And if you can do that, then you can do the bigger things, because you're able to focus your energy on that one thing at that time. Tick that box, move on, and enjoy it. You know, you're enjoying
Yeah.
it more than.
Yeah, that's it. You don't want it to feel too, like you said, like the hard slog, like work, you know, it probably wouldn't ever get done. Do you think knowing yourself as well and how you work and your processes and I guess what your capacity is key to balancing things? And like you said, your values as well, and family is one. So you be there for what's needed there first over what's needed, I guess, with the business side.
Absolutely, and having that capacity, like for example, and I wrote an article about this for Forbes, like 7 months ago, my daughter went into ketoacidosis and into ICU for 3 days.
Wow.
Now, I'm very blessed that should something like that happen in my business, it doesn't mean it crashes. It's, you know, I have a team now that can help, and you know, just they can step up and do a bit more. But yeah, I was able to switch off and pour into her because she needed me during that time, and I still am pouring into her. But I'm able to be flexible, but it also affirmed to me that I'm doing exactly what I want to do in life, because I still find the energy and the motivation and the passion for what I'm doing, but can still show up. And when you're doing what brings you joy, that energizes you. And it also helps you be the best mom as well, you know, because I'm energized, I'm happy. And don't get me wrong, there's days where I'm not the best mom
Yeah.
because I'm a human being.
Yeah.
But I always do my best, and you know, with the right intentions and things like that. And we do have fun, you know. We love our pajama days, we love having slow days. And also I get up at 5 a.m. So I get up and I'm ahead of the day before the kids get up. So, and I always write in that as well.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. Great job. So you're also an author and a speaker, and you're very passionate about sharing, you know, power of story. And you've shared your own as well. What are your top tips to authors looking to write their story?
Get your first draft out. And that's where the gold is for your story. Don't overthink it. Like, think NaNoWriMo. Get your first draft out. That's your skeleton. And then you add the muscle in afterwards. And then you may bring it to where you can, and then it's time to hand it over to an editor. Never avoid the editor. It's the best investment in your authorship you'll ever make. And that's my best advice. If you're writing a nonfiction, I always say work on your framework first and then write into it, because you actually know what your reader needs to read. So again, first draft, let it flow, don't overthink it, just spew it out onto that page, and then go and never drag something out to make a word count, or never call it too much that you lose the essence of what you're trying to say because of a word count. Word count's not the priority. It's just something there to guide you, but it's not there to to put shackles on what you're able to share. That's why there's nothing as painful as reading something someone has dragged out. Just
Yeah. No, that's great.
and for the writer.
Yeah, good to hear. I tend to write sort of shorter stuff, but I call it short nonfiction for authors, because it is like 7 to 15,000 words, some of them. So, but yeah, I don't really
Well,
feel like I need to say more.
Yeah, I've done novelettes as well. I've written a few fictional novelettes. I love them, and we call them they're fast reads for busy mums. Like you can read those, on a journey and things like that. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's it. Goodness me. So, wow, you've just had such an amazing career, and obviously, I can just tell there's so much more to come. If you were to wind it all back and go right back to the beginning, what would you tell yourself now? What if there was anything in business, in life, in authorship, anything at all? Would there be anything, or you're pretty much like, wow?
I'm just so happy with where I am. I remember I did go through a dark period in my life, and that was because I didn't keep my cup full. I give, and didn't receive it, and so I was empty. And then something happened, an incident in my life happened that wouldn't usually make me sink, but it made me sink into PTSD for over a year, and that was a big thing in my life. But I identified that the reason it happened was because my cup was empty. So keep your cup full. I made a conscious decision. So you can pour into yourself as well as, so doing things that bring you joy, prioritize joy. There's so much success in joy. Authorship doesn't have to be painful. It can be so much fun. And don't even think about, the promoting of yourself. Just get out there and share. If people don't know, then how are they supposed to love your work if they don't know about you? And you don't have to be sales. So you just get on with it and have a conversation. Tell them the story about how it came to be. Because behind every book is a story as well,
Yeah, that's it. And I agree with you saying, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of that saying, you could have a classroom of people and then give them all the same scenario to write about, but each person would write something completely different. Touching on when you said find people who, write similar to you and team up and collaborate. And yeah, I just love that. I think that's all wonderful advice there.
So important. And I think that people just need to embrace that. And the world has shifted to that mentality, less competition and more collaboration. And I've collaborated with some amazing people. If I had thought about it 10 years ago, I'd never think that I would be working with the people I work with. Everyone's just people.
Yeah. Well, it's good to turn around and pull everybody up, because in turn you can help each other rather than obviously I won't share that secret, or thinking that's going to help you. Like if we all help each other, then industry thrives.
And if you want to work with someone, or if you want someone to endorse your book, if you want something, if you have a goal, put it out there and then act on your inspired thoughts. Don't ever block yourself. If I hadn't have acted on inspired thoughts, I would never sign the Duchess of York.
Yes.
So
how did that come about? Did you contact her? Or I didn't even know she was an author.
Well, I knew she was an author because I knew she wrote Budgie the Little Helicopter. My 25-year-old son doesn't watch it now, but he did when he was younger.
Wow.
and she done books around that. So my line of thinking was, I'd seen her online. I was like, there's Sarah the Duchess of York. She's the children's book author. I wonder would she like to do a book for Serenity Press. So immediately I just acted on that, and I said, I wonder who her agent is. Googled her agent and must have sent the best email ever. I can't find it, so I don't know what I said. And then 2 days later, her team contacted me, and we went through a few emails, and then we done a conversation with her team. It was at the worst time possible for me, but you just have to say yes. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. And I was on holidays with 5 of my kids on my own. My husband wasn't with me. If anybody has a Mary, I call it. My daughter is Mary, and she was 3 at the time. And she's a tornado, she's my 6th child. She has to be loud, to be heard, and she's a tornado. And so I had planned the whole day for this call for her to be asleep. We were on holidays. I took them out, I wore them, I brought them to the beach, I ran them everywhere. For Mary to be asleep at 5 p.m. whenever this call is happening, because they were phoning from the UK. And and the message and ask, can you do the call 45 minutes early, which was like 15 minutes. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And when I done the call, Mary was I was standing outside the house, and Mary, the holiday home, Mary was sitting on my feet, going, Mom, swing me. And I was like, Just to let you know, please ignore any background noise. I'm on holidays with my children at the moment, and I think that was actually, it actually helped because,
Yeah.
it was funny.
It kind of
Yeah.
shows you know, in a personal, like what you're like, and just genuine, and what you see is what you get, sort of thing. So
Yeah,
for
it was
sure.
hilarious. So I was like, yeah, okay, we'll go with it. But yeah, so we made it to the next call, so it wasn't there wasn't
Wow,
anything, wrong with it. So yeah, it was interesting.
that's great. It's really just putting yourself out there then, and going for the opportunities that you seek.
That's the thing. And don't let that being a mom hold you back, because especially now, it's like when I started out, it wasn't so much acceptable to have a child on your knee in a call, or have them in the background playing or whatever. But it's different now, with the pandemic. That's one of the good things that has happened, is that we've humanized the whole business experience, because moms are pretty damn good. We can do so much. We solve problems better than many people. We do things faster and efficient. We see solutions, where other people don't see them. So that's why, I think that, moms should be way more valued. And we do it all by making it all happen. And we do need mums in homes as well. It's good if mums is able to choose. Like, I like to escape to my office as well, because I'm going, just brain space. I'm going to the office today for brain space. But I like being at home as well. Like, I'm doing this call from home, and I'm able to go and do a wash now after we switch off. And stuff,
No, that's incredible. And I think I maybe mentioned this in the last episode. I venturing out, especially for authors, sometimes you can just get caught up in author events and writing things and publishing things. But I think it's good to go out to different business things and events and meet like-minded people, whether it be in the mum sphere or just different, and I think that all helps build your business or character as well, and you can connect with other people that are going through the sort of same thing. So especially women on women. It was a small business women's luncheon. It was my first last week, and I was just so inspired, and I just loved it. It was just great.
Rises you up, doesn't it? I
Yes.
love it when like-minded women come together. You're just empowered and risen. I remember going to my first event, and again, it was totally irrational of me to even think to go. I brought my 3-week-old baby with, and I went to Melbourne, and that was Mary. We went to Melbourne.
She's well known.
She's actually ended up on all the promo images for the years after. She's still popping up on them. But that was in 2015, and I didn't realize I was doing things so small, and that opened up my mind. And then a few things aligned, and I ended up hiring the castle, and we'd done the retreat in 2017. Back in 2016 in Ireland, hired the castle for 2017, booked in the London Book Fair. So these things are possible. It helps, make you visible.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I could pick your brain and talk to you forever, Karen. But thank you so much for sharing your publishing and writing wisdom and business knowledge. It's just been amazing. Can you tell our listeners where they can find you and your authors and books online and in store?
Come and see all of our amazing authors and the books that they have in serenitypress.org. Come to our Facebook page or Instagram, and I keep up to date there. Then come to mmhpress.com. A lot of my books are there, and some other amazing authors. KMD Books for my thought leaders. If you want to get motivated, come to KMD Books. There's lots of insightful books there, and we do the humanized version of nonfiction, self-help, and all of those things.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks so much, Karen. That was wonderful.
My pleasure, Joanne. Thank you so much for having me.
So there you have it, folks. The incredibly inspiring Karen McDermott sharing her publishing wisdom and author magic. So on the Hybrid Author podcast next time, we have Holden Shepherd. He's going to talk to us about social media for authors. So not only is Holden an amazing author, he is all over social media. So he's got really good tips to share about whether authors should post strategically, how to deal with negative backlash, how social media can help an author's career, and much more. So best of luck for the next fortnight on your author adventure. Bye for now. That's the end for now, authors. I hope you're further forward in your author adventure after listening, and I hope you'll listen next time. Remember to head on over to the Hybrid Author website at www.hybridauthor.com.au to get your free author pass. It's bye for now.